You cannot willpower your way to wealth. When you're up against frictionless digital consumerism, one-click buying, algorithmic targeting, your motivation eventually cracks. The internet is packed with money hacks, but treating every piece of financial advice equally is a trap. If you try to execute every trick you see, you don't build wealth, you just build mental burnout. You have to consider the return on investment for your time. Spending 2 hours hunting for a coupon code to save 50 cents is a strategic failure. We are going to audit 13 specific financial tactics through an ROI lens. The goal is to separate the low-value tricks from the actual wealth-building systems. This chart breaks it down. On the x-axis, we have the mental effort required. On the y-axis, the actual wealth generated or saved. By plotting these tactics here, it becomes instantly clear which habits deserve your energy and which you need to drop today. True financial progress doesn't come from exhausting, everyday penny pinching. It comes from prioritizing high-leverage actions. First, let's look at the top left quadrant, low effort, high immediate defense. These are psychological guardrails designed to short-circuit your spending reflex. Take the 30-day rule. When you want to make a large, non-essential purchase, you force a hard 30-day waiting period. By the time the month ends, the fear of missing out usually evaporates, and the urge to buy vanishes. Then there's the financial fast, picking one day a week or month where you spend absolutely zero money. It acts as a reset button for your baseline dopamine responses to shopping. Never shop without a physical list. Whether you are in a mall or on an app, a strict list is your best defense against store psychology and algorithmic cross-selling. The trade-off here is straightforward. You give up a little bit of convenience and spontaneity, but in return, you gain major control over impulse buying. Next, the cash versus credit dilemma. A debit or UPI system provides immediate behavioral alignment. Cash leaves your account instantly. The physical limit is absolute. Credit cards offer mathematical advantages, interest-free loans and rewards, but only if you have the cash to pay it off completely. Here is the trade-off. You are leaving free reward points on the table by using cash, but you are avoiding the severe risk of a high-interest debt trap. Credit arbitrage only works for people who have already mastered their basic financial discipline. If you don't have the cash today, the points aren't worth it. Now we move to the top right quadrant. High initial effort, but massive long-term impact. These are the systems that compound wealth over decades. You must automate your savings. By setting up automatic transfers, like SIPs, the moment your paycheck hits, you remove motivation from the equation entirely. This pie chart illustrates the 50-30-20 framework. 50% of your income is capped for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% is immediately routed to savings. These rigid structural limits make end-of-month overdrafts nearly impossible. Look at this graph comparing lifetime loan interest. The top line is a standard payment schedule. The bottom line shows the result of aggressively prepaying the principal during the early years of a loan. The total interest paid drops sharply. There is a trade-off, though. Prepaying a loan permanently ties up liquidity. Cash sent to your mortgage is cash you cannot invest in the stock market. Another structural move is buying term life insurance in your 20s. Your health is optimal, allowing you to lock in exceptionally low premiums for the rest of your life. Setting these systems up requires painful, boring structural changes today, but they guarantee frictionless compounding wealth tomorrow. Finally, let's look at the bottom right quadrant, medium effort tricks with marginal, often variable impact. These can easily drain your mental bandwidth. This includes tactics like renting occasionally used depreciating assets, expensive camera lenses, or formal wear, instead of paying full retail price for something you'll use twice a year. It also includes using incognito mode and clearing cookies to dodge dynamic pricing algorithms when booking flights and hotels. The strict trade-off here is time. These tactics require a high level of annoyance and manual execution, often for minimal and non-guaranteed financial returns. Obsessing over these micro-frictions often creates a false sense of productivity. You feel like you're optimizing, but it's distracting you from the bigger financial levers. That brings us to the ultimate reality check, the 14th bonus hack. You can only cut your expenses down to a certain baseline. The line eventually hits a solid floor. You have baseline survival costs. You have to pay rent, you must buy your groceries, and keep the lights on. Saving money has a strict, unbreakable mathematical floor. This chart compares the two paths. On the left, expense reduction flatlines at that survival baseline, but on the right, income generation scales upward exponentially. Upskilling, launching a side business, or freelancing, these have no upward limit. Scaling your income requires shifting from a defensive posture to an offensive one. The reality of the trade-off is that you have to risk your off-hours time and you have to risk failure. Here is the definitive rule. Saving money keeps you safe from ruin, but aggressively earning money is what actually sets you free. To figure out your next step, look at this decision tree and identify your primary bottleneck. Are you struggling with impulse control, system leaks, or an income ceiling? If you're a beginner fighting impulses, ignore credit card points completely. Stick to UPI, strictly enforce the 30-day rule, and automate 20% of your paycheck before you ever see it. If you're an optimizer, safely leverage credit arbitrage. Attack the heavy early tenure interest of your loans, and ruthlessly balance your budget to the 50-30-20 standard. And if you're trying to scale, stop wasting time on incognito mode and micro savings. Channel all that mental energy into acquiring a high-income skill. Warren Buffett mapped out the correct order of operations for wealth perfectly. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Engineer your financial systems first, and then spend whatever is happily left over.